and Rachel were doing the Patreon show. You were drinking Prosecco. Mm-hmm. You ended the show by very earnestly singing Cher's If I Could Turn Back Time. If I could turn back time. Hello and welcome to the Great Beyond. Buongiorno, babies.
Ciao, baby. Ciao.
Hey. So much talking in that voice. Can't help it when you're in Italy. I'm catching up with my friend and yours, Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming. And we are really catching up to. This is, normally I speak to you every goddamn day.
Yeah.
But this will actually be a catch up. I haven't spoken to you in 10 days.
Feels like a month.
I know. That's what I was saying when we were gone. I was like, to us, it feels like, I was saying this to Jill, like, oh man, what's going on back home? Like, I wonder if, this or that's, and then you get back and everyone's like, yeah, you were gone for 10 days. Like, right. Sometimes 10 days go by and I don't speak to my friends here, or I don't see them, mm-hmm. or, anyways, it's fine. I think you got to be gone for at least a month for you to truly wonder what's going on back home.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. In this day and age, with the internet and whatnot.
With the internet and getting the group chats and the iMessages and the Instagrams and the Twitters. And producing the show, she can turn back time. It's Rachel Doyle.
Yeah, that might have been a bad choice.
Well, you had a couple of pops at that point.
That's fine.
You were feeling it.
I wish you could have auto-tuned me somehow in the process. I'm like, wait, I left you alone for 5 minutes. I'm like, I got to go do something. Can you fix this? And I come back and like, you left that in there?
What did you want me to
hold
do?
on. Let me just explain what we're talking about here.
Okay, don't take this the wrong way, Rachel, but I'm going to actually need you to turn your mic down slightly. It has nothing to do with your Cher impersonation at the end of the Patreon episode. You're Fader 5. Just bring it down slightly.
I'm screaming into the mic.
Just a smidge. That's good. Thank you.
It's a little crunchy. So, like I said, I'm actually realizing that for people that don't subscribe to the Patreon, they didn't even notice I was gone because we pre-recorded other episodes.
That's right.
And there wouldn't have been a Great Beyond last week anyways, or they wouldn't have heard one because it was Patreon. But like I said before I left, it was going to have Daddy is gone vibes, and the babysitter's there, and the kids you and Rachel were doing the Patreon show. You were drinking Prosecco. Mm-hmm. You were drinking some kind of creamy limoncello.
Yes.
Limoncello by the end of the show. And then somehow, I don't even remember why, I was just listening to this on the plane ride home, that you ended the show by very earnestly singing Cher's If I Could Turn Back Time.
Well, he was trying to figure out how to sign off, and I'm like, I got this.
And it just came to you that the way the show should end, you were literally debating, like, how does the show end? I forget what he says at the end. By the way, what do I say? I think I say, this was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the Great Beyond. We'll see you next week. You didn't remember that, which is fine. But I don't know how you got from that to... You remember those karaoke mics, like at-home mics, where you would sing into them, and then at the end a score would pop up, and it'd be like... You got like 90, like Rachel, it sounded like you were like someone had a gun to your head and like, if you don't get above a 98 on this.
I think it's called limoncello and Prosecco.
Yeah. So what would you score her?
Oh, please.
Matt, be honest.
Please.
Honestly, I thought it was good.
Yeah. There you go.
There was a hock tour section in it that I was like, that you could have done something with.
You know what that was? That was the creamy limoncello. If you had regular limoncello, it wouldn't have caused all that phlegm in your throat.
So hold on. So what you're saying is and for quite a long time, like I would say a good 80 to 90 seconds of If I Could Turn Back Time. Mm-hmm. And again, this isn't just someone going like, how does that song go? If I could turn back time. This is someone going... If I can turn back time.
Yeah. Not bad.
It's one of our household bits. She'll just every 6 months or so, she'll just break into Cher. She was doing what's that? Do you believe in love? After you don't know the words to that.
Now I'm like, I can't do that one. That's not from the what is it, Heart of Stone album.
No,
I know. I listened to that. Sorry.
Have you and JD ever done an I Got You Babe duet?
No.
No, we should.
Oh, you really should.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of stay tuned to the end of the show.
Well, maybe the next. That's for P-hounds only, man.
That's for drinking vibes, I think.
Well, one thing I did like, and I don't think we should adopt this because we record in the morning, or at least my morning. I like the fact that you were drinking because when you said something that you liked or read an email where someone made a good point, you were like, oh, let's cheers to that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a nice way to acknowledge a good point that was made.
It was definitely fun to have something to do with your hands, A. B, the increasingly tipsiness of us, I think you can hear it as the hour and 15
Can confirm.
Can confirm. It reminds me of one time I was in a band and we were just sort of jamming. We had a 4-track going and just, playing whatever, just fish style, like diddly, jam band bullshit. And then you can hear it on the tape. It goes for like 10 minutes and then it all sort of peters out as jams do. Sometimes there's no real ending. And then somebody just says, you guys want to eat those mushrooms? Tape stops, and then the tape starts back up again, and it is fucking fish times a million. I love, just the spaciest, weirdest shit, and it's great. It's great to hear the before and after.
The guitars were great before, but I really couldn't see what color they were, exactly. What color the notes were, so let's just take some mushrooms. I want to go full synesthesia mode on this. So, Rachel, you're upset that JD didn't go back and auto-tune you?
No, it wasn't that. I was editing the show, and then I had to go take Jackson to soccer, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll finish it up. I'm like, okay. But I'm looking pretty stupid in this, so make me look less stupid. And that did not happen, so it's fine. It's fine.
I honestly don't know what you want me to do.
What do you want him to take out? You want him to take out like the pause between the first verse and the chorus?
No, there's like a big loogie part that I'm like, couldn't you have just taken a microsecond of that out and maybe there'd be less loogie?
Yeah, that is not
he's
something
not a
I was
miracle
going
worker,
to do.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay, he can't turn back time.
Damn it.
There was a lot of things I kind of wanted to ask you about, but now I'm just thinking, perhaps you said some of them because you felt the safety of being behind the wall of the fortress of the Patreon, where there's fewer listeners, but more importantly than there's fewer listeners, it's like your enemies can't find it very easily. They have to pay you to listen to this.
We did call out most of our enemies on that show.
We did?
Well, like for instance, you talked about someone I'll just say vaguely in case you don't want to talk about it. You sort of casually were talking about someone dying that you knew.
Oh, yeah.
From one thing, like he had one injury and then out of nowhere died. And I was, I gape on the plane going like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like for instance, should we talk about the reason that Rachel wants to do The Doors rewatch? She wants to rewatch Oliver Stone's The Doors and as a full podcast talk about it. Now, I'm not going to tell you the reason why she wants to do that. You're going to have to pay for the Patreon. But that's maybe something she wouldn't have said on the regular show. I don't know. Rachel, would you have said that on the regular show?
It may not have been as lubricated without the Prosecco, and it wouldn't have slid out as easily.
Without the Spagliato. We found out a question was sent in. They said, Matt's not going to listen to this. Obviously, I was going to listen to it. Rachel, what's a time you've been annoyed with Matt? And and let me just say, what a dumb story you told. Oh, so you were mad at me because I didn't want to play a game with you?
Well, actually, let's follow up on that. Why wouldn't you play shuffleboard? You love shuffleboard.
So the question was, what's a time you've been annoyed with Matt? And Rachel said, when we were in Vegas, Nora and I were playing shuffleboard, and we wanted to do it in teams, and we convinced Skeets to play, and then Matt was just standing there, and we asked him to be the fourth, and he refused, and I was very annoyed with him. I didn't want to get... I mean, I don't remember. I was pretty drunk that night, but I think I didn't want to be tied down to a game should I want to leave. Because I was right on that edge of, like, I need to walk back to the room.
Right.
And I didn't want to get embroiled in a game.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Sorry, Rachel.
You overthought it. And if that's what annoys me about you, that's pretty good. Nothing really annoys me about you except you won't play games with me.
Yeah, that's why I didn't fucking believe it for a goddamn second. I've annoyed you way more times than that.
No, honey bun buns. No,
Really?
no.
So you just were coming home from school crying. Your mother asked you why, and you said, "Lisa won't play with me."
Yeah.
She won't double touch with me. Okay, fine.
Double touch
Fine.
with me, please.
Okay, well, I guess to actually catch up, first of all, how are you guys doing? Because I got back from this monstrous fucking, I was going to call it a commute, but I think 20 hours is more than commuting.
Yeah.
We'll get there because unfortunately, I have some plane stuff for
Okay.
you. But I found out about the hurricane.
Yes.
And you were in its path, and you had like damage to the house?
Yeah, we had a little flooding right where I'm sitting, actually, in the classic factory. We had to rip out not rip out, there were area rugs, but we had to basically take everything apart, make sure, unplug everything. And yeah, it was, compared to...
Did you unplug things in advance knowing this might happen?
No, because we've never had flooding at all. We've had hurricanes blow through before, and nothing like this. And to be clear, compared to what's happening in North Carolina and everything, we got off extremely easy. Even Trey's power was out for 2.5 days, I think. They had a massive tree fall in their neighborhood. So we really got off quite easy, but it was a very, busy weekend of cleaning up, basically.
Yeah.
So there was that.
Wait, and this was rain coming through the roof of the garage, or this was because you live on a hill, kind of?
Yeah, it is.
Your driveway goes up to the house, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say...
So you would think, definitely not going to flood.
Exactly.
But the wall is cinder blocks embedded in the earth. So all that earth is saturated with so much
this
water.
Wall right here,
it started coming through.
But I don't think...
So what, you got Jay Skeets putting sandbags out there now? Or what?
We should have.
We're going... Next time we're going to. And yeah, so... Yeah, it was not great. Not great at all.
But
at least it was rainwater.
It could have been a lot worse.
Totally. It was
the poop water.
The poop water was way worse. And it was clean water coming in, so...
Yeah. Shooting up through the toilet sewage, that's something you don't want to repeat.
Yeah, that was something that's happened to us before. We're not going to get into that, but this was... I guess because we went through that and we had 8 inches of sewer water in our basement, a little bit of water coming in from a fucking hurricane.
Right. You said, thank you. Finally, we'll get rid of the poop water.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
And then did a chemical plant explode?
Yeah. The chemical plant exploded.
On Sunday, but they didn't tell us till Monday, right?
It didn't come to our attention until at least Monday. After, we had been all outside, Trey and Skeets had driven over here, and they're like, smells like a pool out there. It's chlorine smell in the air, and just hazy, and just, and this happened in Conyers, which is miles from here. So, yeah, there's that, and they're like, you got to go inside and close all your windows and turn off your AC, and you're like, God damn.
But they didn't.
And it's what, 90 degrees there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been warm. It hasn't been that bad, but it's sort of this is the time of year when I'm constantly looking at my phone, and if it's 18 degrees, 19 degrees at night, I'm opening all the windows, right? Finally, because it's been you
want the air to kiss your nipples.
Exactly. And now it's just,
Tried to open the windows in some places on this trip in Italy, because their air conditioning... They haven't quite figured it out yet.
Yeah,
and they'll say there is air conditioning. They'll put it on the listing, and then you get there, and this thing is a chonking along.
Yeah,
and there's too many pigeons there.
Right.
Not that they're gonna fly in, but that pigeon sound in the morning,
Yeah. Some might call it a cooing of a dove, Matt.
Is that what it is, though? Because it's not peaceful.
No,
it disturbed my peace.
So the weather was nice enough to open the windows, but you didn't because of pigeon sounds.
That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you do this. You do the cost benefit of, am I going to wake up from heat?
Yes.
And would I rather that than wake up from either drunk person yelling outside window or pigeon fucking, whatever.
Yeah. I'll take the pigeon.
We all make choices.
I'll take the pigeon fucking for sure. It's almost soothing. Like
listening to
the
animals
cooing.
have sex.
Well, you don't know if there's fluttering and cooing, I guess. I don't know. You're in Italy. That's love, man.
Yeah, I didn't sleep all on the trip. I'll tell you that. Okay. But I guess before we move on, just obviously hearts go out to anyone that's affected by the hurricane because the images from North Carolina are shocking.
God,
shocking to me.
Yeah.
If you know where Asheville is, I went in 2019 just before I moved actually, and it's in the mountains, very inland. And yeah, it's just, I went to this place called Lake Lure, with my family when we went, which is a lake. And, there's this place called Chimney Rock near it, which is kind of like a one street town. And then there's a rock that looks like a chimney and you can hike to it and climb up a bit. It's like a pretty popular tourist attraction. Anyway, I saw pictures of it, like that little town, and it's gone.
Devastated.
It's crazy. It devastated.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we hope everyone is okay. Can I start complaining about my plane ride yet?
Yeah. Let's pivot.
Okay, yeah, let's pivot. So can I tell you the cool thing, first of all?
Yes.
For the first time in my life, I was on a double-decker plane, and I was on the upper deck.
Oh, you got upper... Isn't that a sex move? Upper deck?
No, it's pooping in the toilet tank.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you do that on this trip?
Well, there's no toilet tank on an airplane.
Hold on. So what, you're in first class?
No. Economy, baby.
Oh, that's just on the top level.
When I went to book my seats...
Wow.
There was like one section of the plane. The rest of the top section was, I don't know, either first class or business.
Okay.
And there was one section of it that was just economy. And I was like,
wow.
You can do that? Of course I'm going to sit on the top.
Hell yeah. That's fun.
Cool.
So you were a little higher than everybody else on the plane.
Yeah. There was stairs, like a spiral staircase. Every time I had to pee, I was going downstairs.
Oh,
there was a bathroom on ours, but like just to go, like I felt like I was in someone's house.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that was very cool. And it did feel, because there was only one small section up there.
Yeah.
And so it was an A380, which I think is the biggest. Jesus, the cat is like having a dream over there. I don't know if you can hear that whining.
It's all that pigeon talk.
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's the biggest. I think it's the biggest commercial airliner.
Yeah.
Not a big plane head, but this thing's like, you look at it as you're getting on, and you're like, I don't see how this is going to take off. But like we're like delivering tanks to the front in World War II kind of plane. Anyway, so that was cool. I get on the plane. I'm like, this is great. We're in the top. It's a 12-hour flight, right? And on top of this, that's Munich to Los Angeles. We'd already taken a flight from Florence to Munich. Already been going for a few hours. By the time we get on this flight, it's a bit delayed, but we get on the plane. We're on the upper deck. Wow, this is great. We're lucky. I got an aisle. Jill's next to me. It's where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I start watching The Boys on the Boat, a great film, poorly reviewed. This is the George Clooney directed film about rowers in the Depression.
I've heard of it, yes. I will watch it.
I'm watching it. I enjoy it. It was kind of like reading the Wikipedia entry, but it was enjoyable. It was a good plane movie.
Okay.
And that's when disaster struck.
Oh, God.
And the gentleman in front of me, who was sitting in bulkhead, reclined his seat. Now, Rachel, before you show this photograph, I said, Jill, take a picture of me right now, because we must end the scourge of reclining. Because picture in your head, JD, how close my face was to the screen after he done. And I guarantee you will never believe, you will never be able to picture in your head how close it was. Rachel, please show the picture.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Oh my God. Do you want that?
I'm 5'5".
Oh my God.
Okay? I'm probably, in terms of men go on this plane, on average, I had to have been one of the smaller people on this plane. I am eye to eye with Joel Edgerton in this photograph.
Your water is like about to spill out onto your cock there. Like it's
I couldn't
right
move.
over.
I couldn't get out. So Jill's next to me to my left there. Well, not in this picture. She got out. I couldn't get up. Like I had to wrestle, put both arms around the top of his seat just to get out. And then she had to do the same thing. Airbus. I mean, I'm glad you're not Boeing. I'm glad your planes aren't crashing constantly.
Yeah.
But do you feel this is normal? I don't know who I'm talking to. The CEO of Airbus. Do you feel like that's normal?
Yeah, that's not good. It's not good at all. Also, extra shame to that guy. You got the bulkhead, man.
He's in the bulkhead. His feet are outstretched under the curtain in front of him.
Fuck this guy.
He should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah,
He's got a bulkhead and doing that.
You get to go up those spiral staircase, and you have a fucking bulkhead, and you have the gall to recline.
So selfish.
Okay.
Special place in hell for him. The only move, though, is for you to recline. You have to.
Start kicking
I
the
have
seat.
to.
Start
You have
kicking
no
the seat.
choice.
There's an elderly woman behind me,
No.
and I don't want
No.
I don't want to ruin her experience.
Yeah.
And this flight's from Munich. She's German. I've heard her talking behind me. I'm scared, and I'm only in Act 1 of this film, right?
Right.
The guy just made the rowing team.
Okay, so let's
tremendous
keep the
underdog, by the
spoilers to yourself, please. Thank you.
Okay, well, he makes the rowing team. Duh. But I'm like, I got, 11 hours left in this thing? I can't sit like this. Again.
Yeah.
If I can't sit, Rachel, I hesitate to ask you to put the picture back up.
Nope.
I don't want to.
Well,
no?
let's see.
No.
Hold.
Okay, can
do it.
she
Okay.
do it? Let's see.
Hey!
Here we go. Yeah, there it is. This is a different scene. But I'm like, I'm so claustrophobic. My face is 3 inches from the screen. I can't watch the movie, but I also can't move. I feel really uncomfortable. I'm not spending another 11 hours like this.
Right.
So Jill's like, well, just accept, or what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to talk to the guy. She's like, okay, go talk to the guy. I'm like, I'm going to go talk to him.
Wow.
She's like, okay. So I work up the courage, and I'm like, well, we got so many hours left in this flight that if this goes badly, this is going to be potentially worse.
Yes.
And he potentially does not speak English.
Yeah.
And I'm really going out on a limb here. We're all supposed to be brethren on the upper deck, but I'm sorry, this doesn't work for me. So I get up. And
Let me guess. He's from LA.
He was a Americano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was American.
Okay.
So I tap him on the shoulder, and he looks up at me like, what could you possibly have to say to me, sir? This is a plane. You're not sitting next to me. There's no reason for you to be speaking to me. And I say, I'm so sorry. Would you mind moving your seat up just a bit? Just a bit, because it's really far back, and I know you're not going to, I said, you're not going to believe how far back it is.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, he said, oh yeah, don't worry, bro, I got you.
Nice.
And not only did he not bring it up a bit, he brought it back to its original position.
Yeah, because your wording was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just bring it up a bit. There is only a bit. Like there's no sort of.
No, there was
that?
range.
How's that?
There was
Really?
range.
Okay.
He could have gone an inch, but he went a mile. And anyways, I
All
was
right. I'm
very...
sorry I said special place in hell for this guy.
But that's the perfect wording too, because you're like, this is not your fault. You have no idea how
Right.
far it's
You have
back.
no idea.
That was beautifully put. And if we
Thank
would
you,
just
Rachel.
talk to each other more often instead of just stewing till our head pops off, maybe we'd have more incidences like this. That was perfect.
But I didn't mean it. What I meant was,
Move your goddamn.
what the fuck are you doing? You're sitting in bulkhead. You're not even that tall. Your legs are fully extended.
Right.
You're going off that ski jump full extension, full marks from the Russian judges. You don't need to be also back, and you're watching a movie. You're not sleeping.
Yeah. It's daytime, right? Like that's a daytime flight coming back.
Well, JD, great point to make here. Because we were talking about who controls the window, like opening, whether it's open or closed. And James Adomian on the show was saying, look, if it's a daytime flight, this is a relatively new thing that we're sitting in darkness on if we're flying from LA to New York and it takes 5 hours and the plane's leaving at 10, that's daylight the whole way.
Yep.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
And I kind of agreed, but one thing we didn't contemplate was what happens when you're flying west from Europe or from other places. But let's say Europe, the flight leaves from Munich at noon.
Yeah.
It takes 12 hours.
Yeah.
So that would be 12 a.m. Los Angeles time, but we're gaining 9 hours. We're going back in time. Rachel, hit me.
Oh, Jesus.
If I could turn back time.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. I was doing something back here. You caught me off guard.
What were you doing?
I was doing something. You have nothing to do.
I do.
You have nothing to do back there.
I do. Well, my son texted
Oh, okay.
about being,
I was asking you
about
to
being sick. I'm sorry.
Turn back time.
Fired.
No, that's totally fine. That's totally
Turn back time. Okay, yes.
All right, we're turning back time. We're going 9 hours back. So when we land at quote unquote midnight for the Germans, it will really be 3 p.m.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Yeah.
Right. So we're flying. So there's daylight the whole way.
Yeah.
But it's a 12-hour flight. So one person, again, I thought we were all on the same team on the upper deck, had their window wide open, sun blaring.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, so I know it's the daytime the whole way, but is no one going to sleep for 12 hours?
No.
Like, no one wants to sleep?
Why would you? Because then it's
You would.
Don't you want to stay up? Like, don't you want to feel like it's
Maybe.
3 p.m.? It's like I don't know.
I think you want to catch some Z's, get to America at 3, stay awake till 10, 11, and then go to sleep.
Yeah. I can't remember if this was mentioned on the Adomian show, but isn't part of the courtesy of closing the blind literally for watching movies? Because it's easier to see
It should
the
be,
screen?
because everyone was watching films.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Films. You watched a film, not a movie. A film.
Though I watched The Boys in the Boat, I watched Black Mass.
Black Mass. Oh,
Very
yeah. The
random
Johnny
choices.
Depp, Whitey
I think
Vulture?
a little underrated. It's
Yeah.
very poorly reviewed.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's fine.
At all.
Yep.
And then what I watched Self-Reliance, which was
I don't know that one.
not good.
You know what I just watched? Speaking of Pitt, the Pitt dog. I mean,
Whoa, wolves!
I watched Wolves. I watched Wolves.
Wolves!
Wolves. Shout out.
Give me your review.
Yeah,
Give me
well,
an
I'll
honest
just say
review.
this. My honest review is shout out to Tim Cook and the team over there for yanking it from the theaters because I think that was the right move.
But they yanked it from theaters, but then also were like, here's money for a sequel.
Yeah,
It's not good
yeah.
enough for the theaters, but here's money to make
Doesn't
another one.
matter. It's chump change for Apple, and the fact that it would have bombed so spectacularly. I can't even imagine anybody going to the movies to see this movie, regardless of the fact that it's got Clooney and Pitt, who are totally fine in it. And Watts is a good director.
Totally fine, but that's...
Totally fine.
but
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because, okay, spoiler free here,
Okay.
right? Can you consent to that?
Of course.
Okay. Did you think it was a mistake? Because on one hand, the whole premise of this movie is a cleanup guy, like a fixer or whatever, the kind of guy that comes in once someone's murdered, again, not a spoiler, and cleans up the body.
Yes.
A Mr. Wolf Pulp Fiction type character.
Yeah.
But wait, that's Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah. Mr. Wolf comes in at,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, at the end.
Yeah. No, we're not going to spoil Wolves. We will spoil Pulp Fiction.
Well, it's 1994, so it's fine.
Catch up, people.
Rosebud was his sled.
So, right. So the whole premise of the movie is that a job that is always done by one person because you want to be a lone wolf and not have anyone else observing you or anyone else to screw it up or talk to the cops or have loose lips or whatever, suddenly two of them get called to this scene, right? And so part of the joke is that they're the same.
Yeah.
Like they both have, back pain and they both talk the same and they kind of dress the same and that's the joke of it, right? But did you feel like that was a mistake? Because they were both speaking at the exact same frequency and register and cadence, and it was very boring. Like it was just, my brain was tuning it out. Like they're quippy back and forth. I felt like they should have gone they went two peas in a pod, and they should have gone some difference.
They almost talked like they were like best friends. You know how best friends kind of finish each other's sentences. But did
sandwiches, yes.
Did they see that much of each other? Did I miss that part?
No, they've never met before.
They never met before.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part.
Well, you didn't really
You
watch
really
the
didn't
movie.
understand the
in
movie.
and out. I was in and out
Very
there.
central to the whole point of the movie. This is that they've never met before.
Okay. I agree that it was a mistake. I like the concept of it. That's sort of the frustrating thing. I like the idea of the whole premise. You pitch that to me and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in. But, oh my God, that opening scene, how
forever.
long is that thing?
Forever.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I just found it kind of exhausting, to be honest. And they were like just coast behind their charm, and it's too same.
Yeah.
And the jokes were not there enough to justify the very talkiness of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, I don't know. It made me want to be watching other movies with a similar concept, like After Hours or Into the Night, an old Jeff Goldblum movie.
Oh, I've never seen that.
I liked
pretty good,
it.
yeah.
I liked the young boy. He was the most intriguing to me.
Okay, you've already said too much.
You said too much. Gotta move on. That's our review of Wolves. Wolves. Watch it now on Apple TV Plus. A great service where you will find it hard to find anything to watch. Slow Horses is good. That's whatever. But Slow Horses is good. Gary Oldman's a revelation.
I thought you didn't like Slow Horses.
No, I like Slow Horses.
You said you
It tends to get a little insane. It's always
It's a
starts
bit
strong,
insane.
and then by the end, you're like, oh god.
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is 6 episodes, right? So
Yeah.
Anyway,
But good for you. Good for you, Apple TV Plus. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about was you did a question on the Patreon episode about because remember you were talking about Texas Roadhouse and you had such a wonderful experience at one of America's greatest
I
chains.
stand by that review.
You stand by it, and that's fine. And then and you were talking about how good the service was.
Yeah.
And then a guy, I believe from Australia, wrote in and was like, angry about it.
Yeah, he's pissed.
You diners in America, you're so consumed by this fakery, this BS that because you're tipping, they pretend to be nice to you. Yeah. I don't need that. It's all fake. It's all a charade. I prefer it if it was just more honest. Mm-hmm. And to that I say, as someone that just ate in Italy for 10 days, make it as fake as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So you agree
because
with
this
that?
was insane. And I don't think, now you're going to say tipping. I don't think tipping has to do with it.
Well,
I think
why would I say tipping?
Well, because that's the implication, isn't it? That because we're tipping, they're turning on the charm. Like, we're giving them extra money, they're monkey dancing for us.
Right.
And he's saying don't need it. But I'm saying we do need it.
Yeah.
We need it desperately. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, I mean, maybe it's an Italian thing, a slightly European thing. Mm-hmm. I could also see it being a we hate tourists thing, and they do, because Italy is fucking overrun. Even this is supposed to be the shoulder season. It ain't. This is peak season. End of September is still peak season in Italy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Everything is insanely crowded. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's ways you can get around it, certainly, and you can go off the beaten path and whatever, but sometimes, between the hours of 10 and 4 in a certain city, yikes.
Yeah.
So they're pissed off. Yeah. Fine. But even in restaurants in America where there is no tipping, or I'm sure even in Australia where there's much less tipping, if a restaurateur heard their employees talking to the customers the way that you get talked to in Italy, just no dice. The service there is insane, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Now, I don't mind in the sense that I turned off that part of my brain that expects anything.
Yeah. Yeah. When in Rome, as they say.
When in Rome. We weren't in Rome, but all roads lead to there.
Close to Rome.
Well, where we were, all the roads were going right there. Sometimes we would go in the wrong direction. We're in Rome. The service, I cannot emphasize that. Here's how it goes. They toss menus on your table. They walk away.
Yeah.
Then this could be any time from 90 seconds later to 19 minutes later. They'll come back and just go, ready? And not in a, all right, ready? Just shouting at you. Mm-hmm. And then you got to go, because if you're not ready to go there, you're not seeing them again. And they don't want to answer any questions. It's a language barrier. That's fine. I'm just saying, if you want, if you even think about returning a dish, if you think about asking for a different table, if you go somewhere and you don't have a reservation and they're like, no, and you say, well, can I be put on a waiting list? They're like, what waiting list?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Are you anyways?
So hold on. Is just you and Jill, or this is you and your parents, or this is across the board?
We were traveling with my parents.
Yeah. Most meals taken with them, or
I'm talking dinners. Like, lunch we didn't really eat in restaurants.
Uh-huh.
It was more of a grab and go situation, and breakfast usually there was at the hotel.
Yeah.
But dinner. So if we were gone for 10 nights, we had dinner out every night. It's not like we were cooking or anything. And the service is just insane.
And are you doing research? Like, are you seeking out, like, not Yelp anymore or whatever, but like, were there?
Do have Yelp there. They got TripAdvisor. I was in the Reddits, but the truth was, because we were with my parents, I kind of just gave up control of anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
How hard was that for you?
Well, it wasn't hard in the sense that I didn't really try that hard.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I abdicated all responsibility. There was like certain hotels or Airbnbs that I booked, and my job on the trip was internet.
Right.
Internet. So if we needed to book tickets for a museum or for a train, like, I was the one on my phone doing that stuff. So I was contributing. But in terms of like riding hard for this restaurant over that restaurant, no.
Okay.
Because it's not worth it. Because if it doesn't end up being good, then they're like, why would you bring us here? Or it's like it's not in the place they wanted, or the price they wanted, or whatever.
Fair enough.
And I hate to say this, but we need to let go of the idea that just because you're in Italy, the food, like the Italian food, which there they just call food, is going to be better.
Yeah.
Because I have to tell you, and I hate to say this, it's truly not the case.
Wow.
It's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like, there was maybe, of the 10 restaurants we went to, one, if it were in Los Angeles, that I would go to. Mm-hmm. And these were not bad restaurants. They weren't Michelin star restaurants. They weren't like Tweezer food restaurants. They weren't white tablecloth restaurants. But who wants to fucking eat like that in Italy?
Yeah.
You want to go to a trattoria.
Yeah.
Atmosphere is there. Mm-hmm. I want the food to be rustic and ragouts of boar's meat. And, Tuscany is known for meats, and I want sliced cured meats at the start with cheeses and bread, and I want olive oil on the table, and I want a meat dish, and the classic shit.
Yeah.
But
I've seen No Reservations.
I'm not saying it was bad.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who Stanley Tucci is.
Yes.
I'm not saying it was bad, but it also was not like... I just think people think, I'm going to sit down and every bite I put into my mouth, I'm going to go, oh my God.
So do you think
maybe I'm perpetuating this too with me talking about the tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
We've caught up on tomatoes. Tomatoes.
Wow, listen to this. You think they're just coasting on their reputation at this point? Or
No,
or have we caught up to replicating what the authentic Italian experience should be in restaurants here in North America?
I think authenticity as a word is a trap. I don't like using it. But I guess by definition, their food is more authentic because they're making it there from ingredients they grew there. Yeah. But who cares? I just think that the amount of care they're putting into it is not equal. Like, for instance, they invented the Negroni. They invented the aperitivo. Yeah. I would go to places like that looked like a nice aperitivo bar, order a Negroni, and the fucking thing comes and they're just splashing shit into it with ice cubes, like, filled to the top.
Wow. I thought I thought you couldn't get ice in Italy.
Nah, in some places you can get ice. The wine.
You're going to the nice places.
Too warm. I'll say that. But I'm just saying, like, the idea of one big ice cube, for instance, is not a thing there. Right. And do I need that to enjoy it? No, but I'm just pointing out there's an extra level of care. Now, are things way more expensive in America? Yes. That's one thing that is crazy. The food there is cheap. Like, even if you're in a nice place, again, not like a white tablecloth place, but a nice place that's well reviewed, the food is you can get out of there with like appetizers, mains, wine for like $35 American dollars a person, which
pretty good.
In LA is like completely unheard of.
How many lira is that?
We're not using the lira anymore, my friend. Euro, which is good because it's like $1 is like, I don't know, 20,000 lira or something. That's ridiculous. Not math that I can do. But I will say, not tipping for 2 weeks. Just whatever the price was the price.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it was absolutely
No, for God,
amazing.
I'm, that's what we need here. But, and as far as and as far as the the service and the fake niceties, that's manners, baby. Sometimes I don't feel like being polite, but I am 100% of the time, because we live in a society, and that's just it, right?
Now, do I care that they threw a menu at me as they're walking by and they don't say anything? No, there. But if that happened to me here, I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Well, you'd leave. I mean, that's
I'd be like, "Wow, they're really rude here."
Yeah, nobody wants.
I mean, the only thing I sent back was, I think on the second to last night, I ordered a glass of wine by the glass.
Yeah,
and it was off.
Right.
And the guy, and I called him over, and he took it and gave me a like, "You got me," kind of like. It was on its last legs, but I thought I'd pour it for you. But you got me. You got me. Okay, I'll get you another one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Which brings me to my next point, which is, has an Italian ever taken a dump? Because where is the fiber coming from in their food?
Oh, great question.
It's pastas.
Yes.
It's cheeses.
Okay.
It's meats. It's breads.
Cappuccino.
What's going on there?
Espresso?
Because last time I was in Italy, I thought this time I didn't go with a DOP kit full of potions and pills and powders that I normally might to keep my digestive system on track. Because the last time I was in Italy, I had the opposite problem because I had dysentery.
Oh.
So I thought I'd have no problem this time, but I was like, salads. If a place even has a salad, it's on the back page.
Right, and it's mostly cheese.
Mostly cheese, yeah, or it's like a caprese. If it's a caprese, it might be on the first page, but just like what they call like a garden salad or a mixed salad is just lettuce in a bowl.
Right.
No dressing.
Yeah.
That's up to you to do from the olive oil and balsamic at your table, which is fine. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
But suffice to say, things were a little backed up. So at some point, Jill and I had to go to a farmacia, whatever their CVS is over there.
Yes.
And did some research on my phone. How am I going to explain this? So I typed it out, translate, show it to her, the woman behind the counter. She says gives me a shaking. I don't know what this is. And then I'm trying to explain, and then I'm pointing to my stomach, and then in a very small, very crowded shop, she goes, for to go to bathroom. And I said, yes, for to go to bathroom. So then she turns around to the guy behind, her where the shit is, but back there.
Yeah.
And I hear them talking in Italian. Blah, 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 blah. And then he looks at me and he goes, for to go to bathroom. And I'm like, yes, for to go to bathroom. Tell everyone. Everyone should know.
Oh my God.
It's like in a teen movie when they go buy condoms and then they're like, price check on
Yeah.
Fucking American. Let's
Durex,
say this
extra
loud.
small.
So why would you point to your stomach when the issue is clearly your ass?
Just turn around and go.
No, it's not my ass. What are you talking about?
Nothing's
It is your ass.
coming out.
Nothing's coming out of your ass.
But it's all happening in the stomach.
Right, but
It's a complex system of tubes and wires.
okay, but you would probably get there a lot faster if you just pointed at your ass.
I'm not pointing to my ass.
There's something stuck in my ass.
What about this?
Yeah, exactly.
What about this
That's
motion?
what you
And I'm
think.
using my hands to push down through my digestive tract here, like.
I think it's more this. I want.
We got something
The
to put
rave
up for the
dance.
break dancing.
Just hunt for a bad
wanna mix
oyster
it up.
next time.
Well,
Look at things moving.
Anyway, so then she slides Dulcolax across the counter. I'm like, that's not what I'm not. I can't. I can't do that.
What?
What's that? I don't know even.
But-
What
It's
that
just a laxative. I didn't want a laxative. I wanted
You want, like,
whatever their equivalent of Miralax is, or
the
like
gentle
fiber pills.
Metamucil or something like that. Yeah.
Perhaps a stool softener.
She should have just.
People don't
give
know
you a
this.
cappuccino and a cigarette.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Jesus, why overcomplicate
I'll tell you,
it?
that wasn't cutting it either.
Wow.
Oh.
I tried everything at my disposal.
A cappuccino enema?
Well, that might work.
Maybe hold the milk. You're lactose intolerant.
It was dark. It was dark. It's still dark. We're still working on it. It's a problem we're working on.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna be okay.
Okay. Good.
But if that's the worst thing that happens to you on your trip, you're doing okay.
And
but it wasn't the worst thing that happened. No, just kidding. Nothing bad happened on the trip.
still engaged then.
Still engaged.
Yes.
And after traveling with my parents for 2 weeks, yes, she is still committed to accepting me.
Wow.
But no, she had fun with them, and then it was actually very nice to travel with them.
Good.
Except deciding what to listen to in the car. That was the only barrier.
Where'd you land on?
I don't know what's going on with my dad.
Okay, what's he into these days?
He the last time we met, he likes classic rock.
Okay.
That's
a crowd pleaser, I think, for a car
Cream,
ride.
a little Fleetwood Mac,
Sure.
a little Who, Dove. You put on some Mark Knopfler. The guy
Okay.
goes crazy.
Okay.
This time, I'm like, now we have Apple Music
Yeah.
in the car.
Uh-huh.
It's like, whatever you want, Dad. I'll put it on for you. Any song in the world. He thinks, and he's like, yeah, give me Kathy Tricoli covering the Beach Boys. I Can Hear Music. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wow. Okay.
Kathy Tricoli?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. No one knows who Kathy Tricoli is. I looked at she's like a Christian singer.
Oh.
Okay.
Like country-esque. I don't know what and he starts like, I think he thinks that whatever he sees on YouTube is available on Apple Music and not understand. Like, so then he's like, give me Sugarland featuring Sarah Bareilles doing a cover of Dexy Midnight Runners. Come on, Eileen. Like,
Oh my God.
are you just doing Mad Libs up there? What words are you saying? So of course we're searching. It's like, it's not here. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's there. We're like, are you sure it wasn't like a live performance you heard on YouTube? He's like, oh, maybe. Then we're streaming YouTube to hear Sugarland.
Wow.
Like, come on, Eileen. Anyways, that was.
Well,
And I would say the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, did you just play the originals then?
No, he wanted to hear the Sarah Bareilles.
Okay, well, he's not the. Why is he driving? Is that why he gets to
He
pick
was
the
driving.
tunes?
Yeah, he was
I
driving.
see,
How
I
old is
see.
your dad?
It was so expensive to get me on as a second driver.
Yeah.
So, and I got the international driver's license.
Wow.
In LA before I left, but it just didn't make sense. The only other argument, consistent argument, is when we get to a new town. We were in Tuscany, the rolling hills, and everything is like a old, walled off medieval town, right?
Yeah, that's what you
Like
want.
that was
though, right?
That's what you want. It's built in like the 1300s, perfectly preserved, but the streets are very narrow. Is what I'm getting at. You don't want to drive your car through the town. In some cases, you are most definitely not allowed to.
Right.
Some you're allowed to like go in this gate, but what? So I was always like, let's just park here. We'll walk in, and it was always about, well, we can go closer. We can get closer. It says here it's 6 minutes away, but walking. I'm like, that's not that far. All our bags have wheels on them. We'll get there. Anyway, on the last place, he drove into town, and those sensors on a car that's like if a car is too close to you, it'll start going like beep 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 beep. And then it'll show like the sensor will start blinking on the right driver's side, the passenger side, if that's where the other car is, or the back bumper. Driving through this town, every single sensor was going off at once in the car the entire time because the walls were so close to everything.
Yeah.
Just as soon as you're driving, it's just like beep, 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 from every direction. Anyways, we got through it. It was a lovely trip.
Rachel asked how old your dad is.
That's rude.
Well, just for the music references and stuff.
No, he's 75.
My mom is 69.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And she sent me a text a couple of weeks ago. She's visiting in the end of November. And she said, hey, can we go to an Usher concert when I come to visit? I was like, and I wrote, who is this? And she said, oh, look him up. He's on The Voice. I'm like, no, not who is Usher. What
Look
the
him
fuck are you talking about? Anyway, she was just like, I just want to go to a concert. I was like, I can't spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
Let's think about this a little more.
Do you think she's actually heard his music, or she's just seen him as a TV personality?
I think she's heard his music.
Yeah, I mean, her husband puts a lot of pop music on, so I'm sure she's heard it, but she probably knows him most through watching The Voice. And she was just looking for something fun to do, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm cool enough to go to an Usher concert, Mom.
Don't worry. You don't need to be cool to go to an Usher concert.
Okay.
It's for...
Not now.
How old's Usher?
I don't know.
He must be your age, Matt.
No, he's older than me.
Really?
Were you surprised that Clooney and Pitt are basically the same age?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
How old are they? They're 60s? In their 60s,
I think Pitt is 60 and Clooney's 63.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're contemporaries. Okay,
They look great, man. Those guys look
of course they
fucking
look
really good.
They've always looked great, and they have every available option of injection, facial, nutrition.
Oh,
training.
wow.
Oh, you think they're filling things up? Huh?
Every single person is. What are you talking about?
I'm not.
I'm not.
No, I mean every single
With money?
actor in Hollywood. I mean,
That's
plus not
sad.
to mention the de-aging.
What's
You know about
that?
the de-aging?
No, I haven't heard of this.
Well, I can't name names, but someone we know in common
Yes.
who's in post-production was basically like it's in every single budget.
Oh, to
they basically-
digitally de-age. I
Yeah,
thought we
go
were
through
talking
and-
like secret blood transfusions or something.
Yeah, from
Like, I want to
from
get in on that.
fetuses.
No, not that. But yeah, so basically, they're going through and de-aging everything.
Oh, so everything's a filter.
Everything's a filter.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Not this show, baby.
No, you
Not
get
this show,
all
baby.
our sexiness.
Anything else of interest to happen while I was gone?
Big news, we're getting rid of Cosmo's lipoma tomorrow. So
What's that? Oh, the fat cell?
it's
Fatty
like
cell?
the baseball-sized
yeah, you didn't-
cyst that's
Is it
on the-
malignant?
No, it's just a fatty whatever.
We've had it.
And so why are
removed
they
before.
recommending to get rid of it?
They're not. We just can't stand to look at it. And Rachel took him to the vet today to see how much it would be. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I can take it off for $700. There's a lot of skin there. I can sew it up. And then he said, I'm just a little worried it might pop. And that never actually occurred to me. This thing looks like it's ready to blow like any second. And then Jackson is like, Mom, you're in the blast zone or the blast radius. Now every time he stands next to us kind of thing. This thing is, Rachel's putting up a picture of it
where is
right
the picture?
in post-production. Right after the de-aging, you're going to put the picture up right now. It's a really, really scintillating, exciting stuff.
Very repulsive.
Well, I mean,
luck.
maybe we'll save it. Maybe we'll put it in a little
No,
jar
no,
to
no,
show
no.
everyone.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what do we got going on here now that I'm back?
You're telling me, man. I know we got a mailbag episode coming up, which I'm looking very much forward to. I hope we didn't take all the mail, though.
Oh, yeah. How'd you feel going through the mailbox for the first time?
It warmed my heart, actually, because I've never actually gone through them. And just to see the variety of, really interesting questions, A, and B, just where everybody is and, who they are. Like, it's just a nice little flavor of just the amount of people that we're reaching. It's crazy. It's cool.
Millions, really, when you think about it.
The whole world, man.
I was stopped every couple days when I was in Italy.
Where are you?
Is this a good man? Is that the man from Is This a Good? Took maybe a couple hours for me to start talking in English like that with the whole time I was there. It's funny because I was thinking that like when you appropriate something,
Yes.
which is I suppose what I was doing, when you write it down, it's appropriate,
Ah.
right? But it's
Yeah.
not appropriate to appropriate.
No.
But yet it's the same exact word spelled the same way.
Is it really? Appropriate.
Well, isn't it?
Appropriate. I don't
Should
know.
I have looked at? I mean, appropriate.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be spelled the same.
I'm on shrooms. That's what I thought.
Okay. I thought so.
Anyways, it's not appropriate, but again, we've talked about it before. But they will not understand you if you say Dova il tren. But if you go David trene, they'll be like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
You're like, I know. What binari are we at? That's platform. Mm-hmm. It's a fun word. That's great. Yeah, so we got the return of the mailbag coming out on Monday. Mm-hmm. I think I said this before. We're trying to do those once a month at the start of the month.
Yeah.
So it's probably too late for you to. I'm going to level with you. It's too late for you to send.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
this.
By the
show.
time
But
this comes out, yeah. You're
by
right.
the time this comes out, but next show, that's coming up right around the corner. So send your mail.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's fun because as you saw, not every question. In fact, very few questions are. Is this good? Style questions.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Yep.
Like not a lot of emails are like this topic. Is it good? there's people got stories to tell us. They've got things they need advice on. So great for the mailbag.
We got one that we didn't use for the Patreon show that I think we should use. I'll send it to you. It's from a 15-year-old kid.
Very enlightening.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. All right. So email us, isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Isn't that cool? I know my inbox.
You read them all.
Isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. And subscribe everywhere. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Wow, that'd be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And thanks to everyone for all the kudos. That's not the right word. Congrats.
The congrats. The
On engagement.
kudos.
Can you see this sign?
I was gonna say.
I can. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Your
Wait,
says,
was that
"Yay."
waiting for you when you came home?
Yeah. Two of Jill's friends were coming in and out watching the cats.
Oh, nice.
And they
Nice.
conspired, and then they left that there for when we came home. And this morning, just as Jill was leaving for work, I looked. I was like, "Oh shit, that's gonna be in the background of my Zoom. Can I take that down?"
And she was like, absolutely
She
not.
said, "No."
Why would you want to? Are you not proud of our engagement, Matt?
Well, I just think it's a little message baity to have a giant sign behind me that
Wow.
says "Yay, engaged."
People
but,
know
you
you
know.
don't need that kind of affirmation.
Yeah.
No, I don't. In fact, from here on out, no one say anything about the engagement. Everything else is thisgoodpod@gmail.com. And of course, patreon.com/isthisgood. If you want to go back, why don't you sign up and go back and hear that episode? It was it's JD telling stories about ripping out people's lawn signs. Not the lawn signs you're thinking of either, by the way.
That's true.
If you want to hear a story about how JD's dog ate a jar of Vaseline and did something very bad on his pillow,
I can't I almost took that out. I had it like
because you were too disgusted by it.
I was just like, this is too much. The peahounds don't deserve this. But
Well, I think they
left
do
it in.
deserve it.
Yeah,
and if you want to hear why, next week. And Rachel, by the way, I've never seen The Doors, the movie.
Oh,
It's good fucking material.
okay.
Okay.
Is it? I don't think it is.
So we can do. I mean, is it a whole episode, or is it part of an episode?
of rewatching The Doors? I mean,
Rewatching The Doors, because I only know it from the parodies in Wayne's World 2.
oh yeah.
Well, we have a new show we need to do. It's called Is This Bad? Where we're going to watch movies. That should be the first one. Is this
Well, we're
bad?
supposed to talk about
this
this
bad?
off.
Okay.
Here's the concept.
Well, we
real
haven't
quick.
seen each other in so long.
Here's
Okay,
the
yeah,
elevator
hit me.
pitch. Ready?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I watched the Batman, the movie, the Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
Batman. I watched it when it came out on digital. Fucking hated it. I hated it with a
Yep, me too.
passion.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
My kids are Batman fans. Fiends, really. So I watched it a second time, and I was like, okay, you know what? There's some good things in this. I don't mind this.
Okay.
And then I just recently watched it, and I was like, I love this movie now. I love it.
You watched it 3 times.
I watched a movie that I hated, and
Wait, how do you explain the third time?
I was just like, because the Penguin was coming out, which is sort of Colin Farrell is the Penguin in this
yes,
movie.
yes,
So, you know, my youngest son was like, you know, let's maybe watch the Batman and, you know, get into it before we watch the first episode of the Penguin. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. Yes, let's do it. And I was like, you know what? This is way better than I thought. This is a third viewing.
Okay.
So I thought it would be fun to go back and watch movies that I fucking hated.
Okay.
And the question is this bad? Is this as bad as I thought it was?
Okay.
And
I like it.
Yeah. And the first one, and you don't have to take part in it. It can just be me and Rachel, or we will get guests
I'm
in.
already
No, we want you.
cut
We
out of
want
the
you.
you.
podcast. I leave for 1 week.
We've tried to get you to do other
Well, you
things,
don't
and you're
like-
like, I don't
Sorry,
want to
just
do
because I didn't want to play shuffleboard with you in Vegas, Rachel, doesn't
Exactly.
mean I don't want to be invited on the fucking podcast.
You don't want to be invited on your podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, I thought, you know, so the first one I thought Joker, because the sequel was coming out, and I despise that movie. So
Yeah.
I would be willing to rewatch the Joker, give it another shot, and just answer the question once and for all: is Joker bad? That's all.
Now the new Joker could be more up your alley because it's a musical.
I
You love
know.
musicals.
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't know it's a musical by watching the marketing.
No,
because like all musicals. Hey, you know what would be great? You know what people love? Musicals. We should make one.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to marketing, suddenly you don't have that much confidence that people like musicals, do you?
Wicked.
Because there's not a single note in that trailer.
I know. Wicked isn't even being marketed as a musical, really, as far as I can tell. Like, there is hardly
insane.
any singing in the trailer, which, yeah, is absolutely insane, especially for, like, such a famous... like, Joker, I kind of get them not wanting to sort of say that it's a musical because it's, like, it's a comic book movie that's never
People
really
hate
been
musicals.
done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
stink on
The
it.
South Park movie, I did not know it was a musical going into it when it came out.
Yeah, but that's because of lack of information pre-internet, I think. I don't think
Well,
they were...
but there was marketed and there were trailers and they didn't sing songs in the trailers.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
all I'm
fair
saying.
enough. Fair enough.
So,
But
anyways,
it's- I mean, but these...
you're glitching out, Matt.
I'm on shrooms. What was I going to say? Something important. Oh, yes. I don't know, like, because Lady Gaga came out with an album that I believe is a companion album, so I don't know this for sure. I wasn't expecting to talk about this, but I don't know if the songs on the album are the songs that are in the movie. But she's doing jazz standards.
As a companion, like as Harley Quinn, like
Yeah, but I suspect that the movie, the style of the musical is those kind of, like, jazzy standards.
interesting.
Like covers.
Yeah. Huh.
And there's nothing worse than a jazz standard, in my opinion.
Really?
I fucking like a
A
Tony
loungy
Bennett, like a who gives a fuck?
She was great friends with Tony Bennett. Didn't she release an album?
Yeah, she killed him.
She killed it. Yeah, R.I.P. Tony.
She stole his soul.
So that's like a Madonna had a Dick Tracy album.
Yeah, but that had Vogue on it, JD.
Vogue was on. No, Dick Tracy.
Really?
Yes,
I did not know
Yes.
that.
You must have owned
Are you
the
sure?
album. He must have owned it. Did you own that album?
I did own it. Well, I didn't own it, but my dad owned it. But
Vogue
Okay,
is
hold
on
on.
Dick Tracy's soundtrack.
yes. Now also, Hanky Panky is on it.
Yeah,
and some
That's in the movie.
other, questionable, standardy kind of songs.
The
But
things
hold
you do
on.
for love, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here we go. We're finding it. We're finding
That's
a
not
track
a song.
listing.
That's a statement. Well,
Am
it
I
is
wrong?
a song
Okay.
too, but that wasn't.
Vogue does not seem to
I
be
get
on.
what you're
this.
Yeah, it's not on there.
Yeah, well, that's inconvenient.
That's
Misremembering.
disappointing.
Why did I think
That's
it
like
was
me
on
thinking
this?
that Landslide was on Siamese Dream.
Hold on. No. I'm looking at the wrong thing. What?
I thought there was a
So there's soundtrack. There's various artists.
Okay.
Dick Tracy soundtrack, but there's also one that's just Madonna.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
And
Can you
Vogue
talk
is
about
on
something for a
that.
second because I'm pretty sure. Had I'm Breathless on it.
Yeah, see, I made the same mistake when I was Smashing Pumpkins a few months ago. I said, Landslide, my favorite song on Siamese Dream. Not on Siamese Dream.
No, it's not. It's on that Rarities.
Yeah.
Pisces Iscariot, right?
So, yeah, that's a really good cover.
Okay, it is.
Vogue.
Okay. The album is called I'm Breathless, music from and inspired by the film Dick Tracy by Madonna.
Okay, wow.
Here's the
I
album
believe
cover.
you. Yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
yeah, I know that
I had
cover.
that album.
And
Oh.
Vogue is the final song.
Really? But I
Yeah.
thought there was an album called Vogue. Maybe not, actually.
I don't know, maybe they just threw it on? I mean, it is a lot of like there's a song called Back in Business. We're back in business now. Banana, 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 you know, like that.
Yeah. The
Anyway,
stuff
but
that
at least
should-
that was campy. Like
Yeah.
Lady Gaga takes it fucking too seriously. We don't want standards. It's like Rod Stewart's on his like 10th album of standards.
Oh.
He is?
It must be selling.
Yeah, like anytime you hear like artist name plus the words American Songbook,
Yeah.
run. You don't want it. Leave that album in the 6 CD changer in your 1994 Jeep Cherokee. We don't need it. All right, check us out, patreon.com/isthisgood. Go back, listen to that episode to find out why JD loves being ruled by a king and many other things.
I don't love being ruled. That's not what I
Yes, you
said.
do. You love the monarchy. You
I
said
didn't
it.
say that. I did not say that. I said...
Well, go back and listen and tell me if he said that.
He doesn't remember. He was half tittled.
All right.
Vogue is on the Dick Tracy soundtrack. I'm not sure why, but it is there. All right, well, it's good to be back. And as we always do, this is how we end the show. Rachel sings.
Line the shots up, Jason. I'm ready.
Well, you couldn't sing If I Could Turn Back Time, not Believe, and not...
I couldn't sing it?
Yeah, like what would be the fourth Cher song you would sing?
Oh, probably, Love on a Rooftop, Jesse James. Oh, there's too many on that album.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about for the soundtrack to Mermaids, speaking of soundtrack?
Oh, wow. There might be a couple on there. I can't remember.
That's, I think she does a version of It's in His Kiss.
Yes.
Oh, that one. No, it was
right.
Heart of Stone, I Had Down.
Does she love me? I want to know.
That was Rachel. If you're just listening to this, that was Rachel. This is JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.
Bye.